Hey guys, this is Charles with Historical Gaming, and I wanted to talk about 1754 by Academy Games, which is a really good game. I got to play that this past weekend, and I have played 1775, and I enjoy that. And 1812, I actually like a little bit more because it's got more of a linear feel where you've got lines going across the battlefield, and you're kind of pressing those lines forward against each other. 1775. I always felt out of control with that one for some reason. It felt like wherever I left open on the back end, somebody could always sneak around me, and the game was always changing so fast, and the water movement was almost unpredictable. This one felt like the combination of the two kind of come together. So, looking at the board here, you can see it is a linear game where the British side is trying to fight for territory in the green area here against the French, and the French are trying to do the same thing, come into that green area and come into your territory too. Each area with a star is worth a control point if you can kind of get control of those areas. Um, so you only get control points for areas in the green or on your opponent's side with a star. So areas in the green with the star. You also see this game has the possibility of building forts. So there are certain cards that let you build forts in the game. And there are some forts that come pre-built into the map, into an area that are already set. So only the ones with the colors in them get the original forts, put them in them. And then you can add more forts as cards come out in the game to areas. So what the forts do is let you add a die to your defensive roll when somebody attacks you. So you normally get your defending roll first, which is the same way the rest of the series goes. And then when they're attacking you, you get to roll a die, a fort die, which looks like this. And if you roll a fort symbol, that means one of those hits is reduced out. Another thing that's kind of cool was that if you voluntarily leave an area, so let's say you rolled a command decision and you were able to leave the fort with one guy left and you took out of there, you can burn the fort down before you leave. If you are destroyed, though, the opponent can take over your fort. So forts are kind of fun and cool. The mechanic is very simplified, and I've played some other French Indian war games, and I really like the building of forts and the burning down of forts whole concept. But some of the other games I've played are like 30 pages of rules and a lot of overhead. This is super simple, plays in like an hour and a half. Has a great feel to it. Again, plays up to 4 people, so you can go 2 to 4 people. I like that aspect a lot. Another thing I like is the Indians, the way the Indians come out. So, of course, as you can see here, there's the normal deployment where you can have everything already pre-marked, so you just drop your cubes at the beginning of the game. The green play or the Indians start in the neutral area on the French side. Just all through here. And then as you do the initiative draws, there's one color for each faction plus a green one for the Indians. So if you draw that initiative cube on the first turn, you're going to look for this symbol and you're going to drop 1 cube here and 1 cube here. And that's where the Indians are deployed. Now, if you've got units already there, you'll absorb those units, or you can kind of come in and take them later. That was really fun because you never knew where they were going to come in. It wasn't like in 1775 where you're constantly going into the back country trying to grab Indians and bring them forward. Sometimes they came to you. Sometimes you planned on them coming and they don't come. There's also a difference between regulars and militia as far as how units are deployed. So you'll get 4 regular units on each side as you get your initiative turn, and then you'll get 2 militia units, which are indicated by little deployment markers that you put on the board. Now, one of these markers is deployed on the board where it tells you to, but the other one is selective, so you can decide if you want militia deployed here, or here, or here, wherever you want. And each turn that initiative comes up, or not turn, each initiative that this comes up, you'll get 2 markers here, which kind of, to me, has a better feel. 4 regulars and 2 militia makes more sense. And then there's event cards that can flip this over to 3, to where you can get 3 white cubes for deployment of your militia. And I thought that was kind of cool. There's cards where you can kind of move this marker around and change where you want to deploy your militia. Let's see. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. I really liked the game. Like I said, it was a lot of fun. We had a little bit of trouble with color blindness at the game, which it's hard to tell on this map what is actually green and what's not. It seems like it would be easier if they put a heavier border or something here to indicate kind of being more colorblind friendly. It was a pure accident that we had one guy who was very colorblind and one guy who was kind of a little bit colorblind. Um, it was kind of unfortunate because it kind of messed up the game a little bit because they couldn't see where things were. And then also the cubes are very bland for color blindness, so it's not really. I don't think it's a high probability of that happening, but it was kind of unfortunate. We still had a good time. We were able to figure things out. I basically took a Sharpie and put little dots on the bottom of all my Indians so we could see the green colors okay. And we worked together as a team and everything worked out good. But overall, a very fun game, beautiful map, great cards, lots of great artwork on the cards. The box is even great. I love the forts, I like the deployment and the way it works, and I like the linear aspect in combination with the water aspect of the deployment zones here. A lot of fun. I hope you get to try this game and take care.